Hello, everyone. This is my review of Ultraman Rising with mild spoilers by Andres Baca. This is my review of Ultraman Rising with mild spoilers. Ultraman Rising, directed by Shannon Tindle and John Aoshima, and co-written by Tindle and Mark Hames, is a goofy, sometimes in a bad way, and is not great, but overall it is a good sci-fi film, kaiju sci-fi film. Kaiju is a Japanese term for giant monster or strange beast. Literally, it means strange beast. And Ultraman is the latest incarnation of a Japanese series, the Ultraman series, that is almost 60 years old, which centers around the giant humanoid alien who helps humans fight giant monsters. But this story doesn't go into the alien origins of Ultraman or even explain him too much, but that works well enough here. It starts in media res in the middle of the action, and it's not so much an origin story, but kind of like a continuation story. But that works well enough here. The story centers around Ken Sato, voiced by Christopher Sean, who comes back to Japan as an adult to take the mantle of Ultraman from his father, the great Dr. Sato, voiced by Gede Watanabe. His son Ken is also a baseball player and a very successful one. So he has to balance fighting giant monsters as Ultraman with his life as a baseball player. But when he is forced to raise a baby kaiju, otherwise it would die, his life is turned upside down. The relationship between Ken and his father is cliched, but it is done well. Ken is resentful of his father because he was absent from his life at key moments, but those moments were when his father was busy protecting them and their nation as Ultraman. It may have been interesting if the main conflict between the characters was something different, or more innovative if it was something different than that, but that works well enough for what it is, yes. But it may bore some people, yes. For the main villain in this movie, we have Dr. Onda, played by Kyung Young. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Korean names that well, so maybe I pronounced that wrong. Head of the Kaiju Defense Force, or KDF. They help protect Japan from kaiju, but they do it by slaughtering the creatures without mercy. Ken's father warns him about Onda and the KDF, but at the beginning of the story, Ken lets them clean up the kaiju messes so that he can rest. After all, he is balancing being a professional baseball player at a high level with being Ultraman, yes. So he's already taxed as it is, yes. The KDF and the Ultraman Corps are different entities in the story. Dr. Onda and the KDF want to capture the baby kaiju and use it to track down the hidden and mysterious Kaiju Island, which is believed to be the source of the giant monsters, and once there, to get rid of the Kaiju threat once and for all. Oh yes, if I didn't mention it, Ken has to take care of a baby Kaiju or else it'll die, yes. Mr. Onda, Dr. Onda has a dark past, which I don't want to spoil it, but it provides a believable motivation for what seems on the surface like an evil quest. And I like that they included it in there because it makes us feel a little bit of sympathy for Dr. Onda, yes. As far as visuals are concerned, the scenes with the kaiju baby are kind of goofy, and something about Ultraman's proportions seems off. He seems spindly, kind of like resembling the Eva from Neon Genesis Evangelion, but he does not move as gracefully as the mecha slash monsters from that kaiju slash mecha series. The fight scenes in Ultraman Rising are good enough, and the final fight with Onda is probably the best part of the movie. That part is pretty good, but not fantastic, but it's pretty good. It's really good. The relationship between Ken and the baby kaiju is endearing, but sometimes edges up to being annoying. But sometimes kids can be annoying in real life too, so this is understandable. Also, Ken starts a friendship with a pretty reporter called Emi Wakita, voiced by Julia Harriman. But the movie doesn't really develop this relationship into romance, which could have been interesting. Overall, so that's a lost opportunity, yes. Overall, the story is good, the visuals are okay, the fight scenes are good, but not fantastic. All of the voice acting performances are good, but the movie is just kind of plain. It does not transcend the genre like Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim does. That movie brought innovative visuals and a new approach to the genre. Each mech being operated by a pair of pilots with a neural link was incredible, and as a live action movie, it reached new levels of realism and, most importantly, wonder for the mecha and kaiju genres. This Ultraman film is not wondrous as Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim is, but just bland. It's not bad. Ultraman Rising is not bad, but it's bland. Overall, I give Ultraman Rising 2.5 out of 4 stars. I only recommend it if you are a hardcore fan of the kaiju subgenre of sci-fi. I don't recommend it to other fans of sci-fi who may not be fans of the kaiju genre. To them, I would point to Pacific Rim as a better place to start. You may like Ultraman Rising if you're not a fan of the kaiju genre, but it may bore you and you may not finish it, or if you finish it, it could seem just plain to you as it did to me. It's good, but nothing to write home about. I would not recommend the movie to anyone other than who I've mentioned. If you like the kaiju and mecha genre, please consider buying my novel Phantom Zero, which is about a small little man hero who tries looking for love throughout the universe, but ends up because he can't find that love, ends up working for an evil government and pilots a giant machine monster for the evil government in exchange for access to beautiful women. But his conscience is bothering him. Yes. And the heroes in the story, the hero group is a group called Anthrocom, which is Anthro Defectives, which are a group of disabled people. They're epigenetically predisposed to having disabilities. So it's a whole group of people that are born with disabilities generation after generation, and they have a formidable anthro-defective military, technologically assisted anthro-defective military. Yes, so you can see that here. Yes, in Phantom Zero. Yes, and also if you love sci-fi. If you love sci-fi and time travel or the buddy movie genre with with odd couple pairings, and if you like the relationship between the baseball player in Ultraman Rising and the baby kaiju, please buy The Swordsman and the Philosopher. Maybe you would love the pairing here, yes. Also, please buy my 2 short stories, Capitan Quito and the Barber's Daughter, also available on Amazon as digital versions. Phantom Zero and The Swordsman and the Philosopher are available in physical form, but my 2 stories are available as digital versions only. So once more again, please buy The Swordsman and the Philosopher. If you like sci-fi, if you like sci-fi time travel stories like Back to the Future, etc., or if you like Twins with the pseudo sci-fi story Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, that was an inspiration for the Swordsman and the Philosopher. Yes, and the Martin Short Danny Glover movies was also an inspiration for the Swordsman and the Philosopher. Hopefully, it'll have some humor too that you will also like. Yes, with an odd couple pairing. And Phantom Zero, please buy it if you like kaiju mecha stories and if you like memoirs and if you like to read a kaiju mecha memoir. There was an N on it. Yes, so please buy Phantom Zero and please buy Capitan Quito and the Barber's Daughter as a short story. Yes, so thank you. My next review maybe will be one of my next reviews will be the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Flashpoint by Frank Creed, one upcoming, yes, and maybe Godzilla -1, and maybe Dune the Blu-ray version, and Akira the Blu-ray version for the 25th anniversary Blu-ray version, which came out a few years ago, of Akira, the cyberpunk masterpiece, anime masterpiece. Yes, so I hope to review for this channel. I hope to review more sci-fi films and books. Yes, to hopefully have a whole library of maybe the classics that I review. Yes, so please subscribe. If you like this video, please press like and please subscribe. And if you want to comment on what you like or didn't like about Ultraman, or what do you think about my novels, please comment on the video below. Yes, thank you.